Okay, so let's see what hot garbage has been left on my doorstep today. Alliance Crusader, eh? These names keep just getting more idiotic. I mean, come on, the fucking thing is literally the same as the previous one, plus the fact that all three start with a cunt letter doesn't help me remembering which one is which. Oh, and the fact the price is 25 million, it's now in between the two Alliance ships. I start to think that paying homage is only a cover story of this absurdity. As a matter of fact, a lot of people have been asking this, do we really need another medium shit? Count for once Alliance just take laxatives and take a massive jet stream-like shit and make a capital ship? If they are so concerned about the Targoid threat. Actually, Chieftain was not made to kill bugs, neither was Mentally Challenged one. Only now this, the latest iteration of the shitting dog lookalike, could be considered a Goid killer. You know what? I probably should test that. So let's throw our old knight here, go to the nearest brothel to get the clap, and do what the Marines did in Warhammer, and purge the heresy!
Hey, I'm here. Don't start without me. Sorry I'm late, but I was having far too much fun with this new ship and I just simply lost track of time.
Wait, have you been chugging morphine from your first aid kits again?
Well, if this thing came with a coffee machine like the crate, then I wouldn't have to raid the medicine cabinet, would I? Nothing beats thrusting and pounding around rings and black holes with new models and putting them through their paces just to see if I can pull out in time before exploding everywhere.
So, then how many planetary rings have you managed to impregnate with your pulling out skill?
Well, in the interest of not incriminating myself and having the child support agency hunt me down, I don't think I'll answer that one. I will, however, get on with this baby instead. The Crusader, Lacon's latest offerings to the Alliance and their ever-growing fleet of ships. Really? Really? Is someone taking the piss over at Lacon? I mean, the Alliance commissioned Lacon to build 3 medium-sized combat ships, just like TheYamiks did for the Feds. Alliance ships were supposedly built to take on the Thargoid threat. Well, I guess someone forgot to tell Lacon to design 3 physically different types of ships for different roles. So what did we end up with? Well, 3 ships that you would be hard-pressed to differentiate in a police lineup.
So, Miss Sardi, could you please point out the naughty ship which mugged you in the Hazardous site? No, don't look at the pilot. It's not his fault. He had nothing to do with it. He was just sitting in the pilot's seat at the time. I digress.
Ha! Crime and punishment's a joke! After looking at it for a second, the fuck, Lacon? Is this just taking a piss or what? You copy-paste the fucking thing and the only visual difference is that you got the fucking spoiler? Yet not even Type 10 was so blatantly lazy.
Oh, come on, Yamiks. Who doesn't like a good spoiler? Although, is it just me, or do you think that from behind, this ship looks like a praying mantis?
It's just copy-pasting everything. You know what? I might as well copy-paste paragraphs in my Chieftain review as a joke, just to make a point of how disgusting this is. But I care too much about you, and also I have this artistic integrity, which is why I will actually put in effort to make a unique video. So then, as the ship finally came out, I also kept an eye out on the good old Reddits, and I found this. I mean, what is wrong with...
Yamiks! Oh, bollocks. It looks like we've got a brain meltdown in progress.
Clean up in aisle 3.
Calm down. Just breathe. It'll all be over soon.
Okay, fine. Better now. Usually when I review a ship that basically hasn't changed at all, Federal Piggies come to mind. I don't dwell on the looks too much, but this fucking time, even when you put aside the copy-pasted design on the launch of the ship, Lacon, no sorry, I need to break the fourth wall here. The devs fucked up and released the ship with multiple hardpoint covers, misaligned and borked.
I have to agree with you on that one, Yamiks. It is rather disappointing to see a lovely looking ship spoiled by shoddy craftsmanship. Once they fix this, then I'll be more than happy with the hardpoint positions.
And beyond that stupidity, they also fucked up similar hardpoints on Challenger too! It's one thing to just copy-paste and be as lazy as possible to rake in the cosmetic purchases, but on top of that, fucking up the visuals? Did the QA team went comatose that day before the release of the patch? Thing is, I remember a gaming website article on Alliance ships, and there, they actually showcased all 3 versions practically done. So they've been making these 3 ships for at least 6 months, and still managed to fuck up?
Oh, come on, it's not a total copy and paste. I mean, look, if we flip her over and admire that lovely flat belly with its gorgeous slender six-pack, which is just waiting to
Cry, havoc, and let's slip the dogs of war!
I have to admit that I do love the cockpits of these new Alliance ships, with its crisp lines and whole host of screens to watch your favourite programs on, and no wires hanging from the bulkheads or cables trailed across the floor. Even with that, it still doesn't come close to the crate though, for a well laid out, spacious cockpit. One niggle I had from both the Chieftain and the Challenger was that the co-pilot's HUD was too high and the seat was too close to the back of the pilot's chair, so don't expect to be able to knock one out whilst reviewing the collection of porn that Ramtar's been gathering from the Guardian sites. Well, not unless you want your co-pilot watching, that is. Lakon have now fixed this issue by adding an additional co-pilot's chair and repositioning them to either side of the pilot, albeit a little too far back. The crew members now have the choice of looking at each other on one side or a bulkhead on the other. You know, come to think of it, these ship names don't really fit. They're named after popular British tanks, so how many tanks do you know that have got large glass viewpoints? I mean, come on, you only have to be hit with a few well-placed shots and the canopy blows out. Tell you what, here's an idea. We've got all these monitors dotted around the cockpit. Why not do away with the large canopy and just use the screens to locate your targets? I mean, remember, this is supposed to be a combat ship, not an exploration ship. If I rise out of the chair to walk about, there are plenty of grab handles to hold on to. This helps with getting about the cabin a lot easier, especially if you forgot to put your mag boots on. I'm not sure why they made this door to the rear of the ship so big though. I mean, come on, look at it. I think they overdid it a little bit. So, moving on quickly, this cockpit has so much storage behind these bulkhead doors. Simply move the power cables aside and you can stow all your flight suits and costumes. I mean, I find it a great place to store my collection of capes. Well, I guess you could call this ship the Cape Crusader, but is it the hero of the Alliance collaboration with Lakon or just the joker of the pack? You see what I did there, Yamiks?
Martha! But seriously though, yet another ship with yet another copy-pasted cockpit, and this time even less has changed than from Chieftain going to Challenger. It's just straight up Challenger cockpit. If not for the 2 extra seats at the back, you'd be forgiven to think that you're still sitting in Challenger, not Crusader. And from a non-camera, non-VR setup, you cannot distinguish that by just looking around. You know, there's this golden rule in television, and movies, and well, any visual arts. Show, don't tell. I should not need to explain it, but at this point when you see shit like Viper 3, Viper 4, Federal Piggies and Alliance abortions, what is there left to do but to make artists and designers sit down and give them a long-awaited lecture on Visual Design 101? Okay then, to briefly explain, the beauty of this game came to me when I realized that every new ship I picked up was ever so different, yet had hallmarks of the manufacturer. It created this character and wonder in the way the universe and the people lived. This is why I dedicate the third of my scripts to cockpit design. I like to complain how other than Zorgon ships have no cup holders, or how gloriously fabulous Gutamaya is. It's always such a joy to look at something new, and now the developers have actually time to carefully craft each new ship. You'd think that they increased the level of detail, but no, Vipers were blatantly copied, so are Alliance ships, and probably more to come. Well, I rag on Star Citizen. I've always said one good thing about the project. Each ship seems to have a unique cockpit, unless again they are copied. And what's more, they actually have different UIs. This detail is wonderful, but then are you telling me the developers of Elite are too busy or lazy to take that extra step for the main tools of the game? By tools, of course, I mean ships. At this point, I can only urge you, the viewer, to beat the dead horse of not having different cockpits or UIs or even ships, as one voice, as much as it may be known, won't be good enough to make the dev team notice.
The designers state that the newest member of the Alliance ship group, the Crusader, acts as a midpoint between the Chieftain and the Challenger, with one very important difference: a fighter bay. Is that it? A bloody fighter bay? Why didn't they just shove this in the bloody Challenger in the first place? But machine, I hear you say. What about the Guardian ships? Well, what about them? I'm here to judge the ship, not the stupid fighters, so piss off you wankers. So performance-wise, we know by looking at the other Alliance ships that they are pretty good in a fight, once you've engineered the hell out of them, that is. But what if you like the ship, but pew pew just doesn't float your boat? Well, other than delivering data missions or carrying out data hacking missions, then I'm afraid you'll find the Crusaders are a little underwhelming. You see, once you put a shield generator and a fuel scoop, or even an SRV bay on it, then you're going to be left with very little space for any cargo. And to make matters worse, worse, this ship has the 5th worst jump range in the game, so you're not really going to want to take this on any fancy exploration trips.
Okay, now unlike Machine, who seems to be drinking that Care Bear Kool-Aid, TheYamiks ain't gonna be gentle when fucking this ship. The first thing you must understand, all the ships in this fairness forgotten game that have fighter bays pay dearly for the privilege. The privilege is so great that it resembles Type 9 level of diabetes. The ships get fat and heavy, yet they still can't carry anything. To water the Crusader down to its bare bones as if you used extreme waterboarding, the Crusader is Chieftain. Not only in looks but in every compartment, except that Lakon thought that they would do a smart thing and convert Chieftain's class 4 compartment into double class 3s and downgraded one of the hardpoints. That's it. That's literally all they changed internally. But because we have this privilege, the ship is worse than Chieftain in every single aspect, save for 3 things. It has only more armor going up as high as Challenger, it has 3 pilot seats, and it has a fighter bay. That is it. All other stats and numbers are worse outright. It's like fighter bay is the superpower virus and your superpower is giving birth at a rapid pace, while making your life worse in every other way. Do you really want that as your life? To be a model wife of a hardcore Bible freak and have up to 12 kids?
Here's a fun fact for you. The biggest fighter bay you can equip in this ship actually has 16 fighters in total.
Even better, you'd be going overboard. Yet unlike with the Crate, this ship has only ship launch fighter bay to rely on. That's both the main and the only selling point, both by stats and in ship official description. I honestly have not seen a ship in this game being sold purely on a gimmick. Oh wait, there was Type 10, right. But after some weeks, they changed both Type 10 and Type 9 to differentiate them and give each one of them unique setup. So, that leaves me wondering, will Lakon or devs do the same thing again? Okay then, if they do, in my eyes they'll be admitting incompetence, lack of creativity and planning skills. I'll be waiting smugly, you watch.
So my questions are as follows. Why does this ship exist? Why didn't they just install a fighter bay, an extra crew seat, and if it really floats your boat, a spoiler onto the Challenger in the first place? And then go and design something different. Oh, I don't know, a new multi-purpose ship maybe. I suspect that it's purely down to greed and laziness. A way to get you to spend money on the same body kits and the same paint jobs all over again for your pitiful fleet of Alliance ships. Oh, and you know it's coming to an outfitting screen near you, don't you? Ship kits with extra spoiler options. Ah dear. In a nutshell, I really like the style of the Alliance ships. They're fun to fly, they're great, and they're so different from any other ship that's currently available. But do I really need 3 which are like identical triplets, which are almost impossible to tell apart? No, I'm afraid I don't.
As for me, I'm a pragmatic person, and just like with Keelback, I'd much rather use the ship that it was based on, for it is a good ship, but here, unlike Keelback, Chieftain does not have a silly or stupid factor, and a fucking spoiler is just annoying. It feels like a child made it by taking something that worked really well and crammed it full of useless garbage. For the final part, I'll read you a quote the developers put up on the patch notes about the Crusader. Crusader, latest member of Alliance ship group, a medium-sized ship based on Alliance Chieftain with the additional space to carry fighter bay. The quote epitomizes what Crusader is, a stillborn nature's mistake delivered by a pharmaceutical student intern. Everything about the process or people involved is wrong and useless. In a quote, I'd call Crusader heresy! Oh, and if Chieftain and Challenger are in whitish colors, then why the fuck is this thing in ugly blue? Oh shit, I'm stuck! Oh no! Ah! There we go. So yeah, the filming took so long, and this fucking ship actually took so much, I guess, or maybe just the fuel tank is so garbage. Anyways, I pretty much ran out of whatever fuel was left there. So yeah.
Do you need me to go and stick a?
Oh no. There's one thing that I usually do when I don't really care to return to the station that I came from. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Okay, what the fuck is going on? The fuck? Ship, you're drunk. Go home. And here we see a Crusader doing its mating ritual to his little fighter thingamajiggy, the new guardian Lance. Yes. As it dances and dances, he persuades the little thing to get into it. And oh no! It opens its ding dong. Yes. Okay, well, there we go. Oh, for fuck's sake, stay still! I want to film stuff. Well, I guess I'll be filming that. Yay! And now it's getting more aggressive, so I think he's ready to pounce. No? He's calm? Alright, he's not angry. Okay. So, position yourself behind me, and contrary to your usual things, do not trust me. Okay? Let's not have that.
I will try to keep the murder boner under control.
This is exactly what I need you to have had today.
Alright, I'm done for the day. Time for partying! Yeah! Yeah! Baby! Oh, freaking cramp! Okay, there we go.